Hi there, all my DIYers. This is Hannah, and today I'm going to show you how to make a rose paper lantern with colored edges. The first thing you need is a paper lantern, and you can get these at IKEA for $5. You also are going to need a lot of coffee filters. Best place to get them is at the dollar store for $1, and I have 300 in total, and I'm probably going to use all of them. You also need paint, and you can have any color you want. This is just for the edges, so regular acrylic paint will work just fine. You're also going to need a glue gun and a lot of glue sticks. Make sure you have plenty of these because you're going to use a lot. And the last ththing you need is your light kit. You can either have your plug-in kind or you can get the hardwired. This really cool rope 15-foot plug-in I got at IKEA for $8. So also a really cool thing. All right, that's everything. Let's get started. All right, you guys, so first step in making the rose and lanterns is to go ahead and take your coffee filters, and once you open them, you're going to separate them. You can see how they kind of tear down, and so just separate them into sections. They're usually like sections of 25 coffee filters. Just go ahead and pull them apart, and then we're going to paint the edges, just the edges, and then we're going to let them dry. Pretty simple. Just paintbrush and paint the edges. Don't worry about being a perfectionist with this. If it goes down the edge and onto the side of the outside one, no big deal. We're going to pull that off and you can throw away the outside one anyway. So don't worry about that. Not a perfectionist art. Just go ahead and paint the edges all the way around on all of these and then set them aside to dry. Don't get it too globby. That's what it's going to look like, and just set it aside to dry and just continue on with all of the coffee filters. Okay, so the next step after all your coffee filters are painted and dry is you're going to want to separate them. And this is a very tedious task. I'm not going to lie about that. It takes a while, but you don't really have to think about it. So I like to do it watching a movie. Put on a good movie, get some popcorn, bring your dog or your boyfriend or whoever, keep you company, and you can just do this while doing that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your coffee filters, and once they're dry, you're going to need a tool, which I forgot to mention earlier. This is a piece of floral wire. You could also use a bobby pin, or you could straighten out a safety pin, not safety pin, paper clip, and use that. See how thin that is? You just need a really thin piece of wire to do this. And you're going to take it and stick it between the layers on your coffee filter and run it around a little bit until you make room for your finger. And then you're going to take your finger and loosen a section. Now don't try and loosen just one, because if you do that, it will rip. I tried. So you're going to try and loosen 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever comes apart on its own. And you're going to take it out, so a bigger section from a big section. And then you can separate these one at a time. You put your floral wire in and you do the same thing, separating it out. You use your finger, run your finger along as soon as you have a hole big enough, and you're going to separate it into individual coffee filters. Just like that. And you have to do this with all of them. It is tedious. So you're going to get a big giant stack. This is just one set of 25. You're going to have 300 of these. But that's what you got to do. I recommend a movie and just enjoy it and don't think about it. So the next step, the last step to finishing your paper lanterns is to take all the coffee filters, which are separated, and put them on the lantern. And this is a step that's kind of hard to mess up. You can do this a lot of different ways. But the way I do it is I take my coffee filter and I crinkle it into kind of like a ball cone. So it looks like that at the front, and it's just all kind of crinkly at the bottom. So I'm going to take it and flatten it out using my fingers and pressing it against my circle of your thumb and your forefinger. And then you're just going to put a little bit of glue, and you're going to take it and glue it close to the coffee filters that are already on there. And I did go ahead and get this started so you could see what it looks like. This is a long step. So You're just going to continue to do this over and over until the whole ball is covered. Again, so you can see from the bottom, I'm going to take it and crinkle it. And it kind of like makes a mushroom cap. I'm going to pop it down like that so that it's good and flat. There's crinkles, but it's flat. And then you take the glue, not a whole lot, just a little bit, and you're going to glue it on and just hold it for a second to let it set. And that's it. And you're just going to keep on doing this until the entire ball is covered. So here's another little trick. A lot of paper lanterns have a hole at the bottom. Now the hole at the top you have to have to let the light come in, the light fixture. But at the bottom, sometimes you may not want this to show. So a good way to cover that up is to take a coffee filter. You need to do this before you get to the very end of it. And you're basically going to glue it on like this. And then you can use that surface to glue more of your other coffee filters on top and close off that hole. So. All right, so now we're done, and this is what it looks like. You've got coffee filters covering all the surfaces, and they're really beautiful with just the edges outlined in your color. Last step is to take your light and put it through the top. So my lantern happens to have a great little spot that holds the cord from the light so that you don't have to worry about it. Just weave it through there. And then that's what it looks like all lit up. Beautiful, huh? I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you'll check out some of my other, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!